Hey guys, it's Amanda. I am back at last. It's been a hot minute since I posted on this channel or talked to you guys in any real way, shape, or form. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm hopefully back for good this time. I finally have a new computer so I can edit. A lot of the reason, I'm not going to make excuses, but a lot of the reason that I wasn't able to post for so long was I had around a 10-year-old laptop and the disk got corrupted and it just couldn't be used on top of it being already so slow. So I finally have a way to edit now. So that's a big weight off my shoulders, but I have a ton of new videos planned for this upcoming year with a lot of friends I have with me at school, which is, I'm in my apartment at school right now. There's going to be a lot of new faces showing up on here and hopefully a ton more makeup videos. So this is the look for today. I'm actually currently wearing it and it's a warm tone, rose goldy, orange coppery, semi-cut crease, smoky eye. I don't know. I'm not good at like naming makeup looks. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm not going to babble on too long. I'm just going to get right into the video. So see you soon. Bye. So starting out, I'm going to be taking the Bobbi Brown Instant Full Cover Concealer in the shade Ivory. And I'm going to be putting that across my eyelids as a base for the eyeshadow. We're going to be starting with eyeshadow for this look because it is a very pigmented colored look and I don't want to do my whole face, just have to wind up going back and wiping it all off to do my foundation again. So just kind of spread that across your eyelids, pretty self-explanatory. And then I'm going to be going in with a neutral shade from the Pure by BoxyCharm palette. Next, we're going to be going in with another palette from BoxyCharm that I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of. We're going in with the shade Cocoa Taxi, which is a kind of terracotta orange color, and that's going to be our transition crease shade. So load that up on a super fluffy brush and just do a kind of preliminary swipe across the crease of your lid. For the next step, we're going to be going in with the Morphe 35O palette, which is a YouTube favorite. We're going to be using those three colors on the left, which definitely do not have shade names, but it's the three most orange shades. And I wish I had pointed to it so I could know, but I want to say this is the topmost color. This look is going to be a lot of blending and a lot of layering, and that's what gives it that really nice hazy look. And after every color that's added, I'm almost always going back in with that really fluffy blending brush just to kind of meld them all together. Next, I'm going to be taking that darkest orangey red shade on a tapered pencil brush, and I'm going to be focusing that right on the very outer corner of my eyelid. And then once the color is packed all in there, I start slowly dragging it into my crease. This is the place to go very slowly, just carefully do it, focus it right on the outer corner and just bring it a little bit in. And then I follow it with a more tapered blending brush to once again bring it back into the crease, but I don't want this color to be going all the way up to my brow bone, so that's why I'm using the smaller blending brush in this case. Now this is something I do a lot because sometimes the color can be dragged away a bit while blending. I'm just going right back in with a slightly more fluffy brush. This is also the part where you'll start to realize that I'm slowly shifting out of frame. I have a really bad tendency to do this. I'm sorry, I tried so hard to make sure I was in frame the whole time, but shit happens. So then after I pack it into the corner, I bring it a little bit up onto the crease again just to make sure it's not a harsh line. Finally, for a bit of a color change, we're going in with a more rounded pencil-like brush with a warm tone dark brown just in that same outer corner. We're going to go in again with that same tapered blending brush that we had used in the dark orange to blend that in with the other colors. We're going in with the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick. I want to say the color is pink gold or rose gold. It's a really pretty bright rosy gold, and then loading it up on a brush that has a very densely packed lining brush, and we're going to give ourselves a kind of faux cut crease. Instead of using concealer this time, we're just going to use the shimmer eyeshadow stick to carve out the crease. Okay, so I didn't hold it up when I was filming the video, but to go on top of that cream shadow to set it, I'm using the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello eyeshadow palette, and I'm using the color Moonstruck. And then to blend Moonstruck with the more orangey tones in the outer corner, I'm also using, I want to say it's called Fool's Rush. Then I'm just lightly blending those two colors together. And then in the very outer corner, I'm using a bit of, I believe, Candy Graham to blend the final bits together with a bit of dark brown. On the edges of those shimmery shades, I'm going in with a much darker brown, and I'm just skirting around the outskirts of that, and once again in the outer V of my eye, just to really darken it up and intensify the look. After that, I found that it wasn't quite blended well enough for my preference, so I just go back in with a blending brush with a little bit more of the orange. A little pro tip about blending your eyeshadow, I like to use a combination of back and forth motion as well as small circular swirls. I find that it just helps the colors blend together better, and I also am always flicking up when I get to the outer corner of my eyes. After that, I went back in with a little bit more of Moonstruck just to sharpen up that crease. But because nothing's ever perfect, I had a little bit more Fool's Rush again after that. To bring in some color to balance out my lower lash line, I go back in with that Cocoa Taxi color, and then I add a bit more of the lighter orange on the outer corner. Then it's completely out of frame, but I add a bit more of that warm brown on the lower lash line. It looks very harsh to start out with. Don't worry, we're blending it. Don't leave it like that. Then there's no extra color that's been added to the brush, but I am using the used orange tone blending brush to kind of smoke that out and blend it all together. To brighten up my brow bone a bit, I use a little bit of that Pure Cosmetics color from before. I really wanted to show you guys how I was doing the eyeliner for this, but it's so incredibly out of frame, there's no use in even showing it to you. Then I'm just going in and lightly defining my brows with some brown brow powder. I'm not a huge dramatic brow person because my brows are already so much darker than my hair and pretty thick, so I'm not really a pomade kind of person, but if that's what you like, it would look great. They just look really bad on me. Then I'm just using a brown tinted brow gel just to kind of hold them in place and fill in any little remaining gaps that weren't covered by the powder. Moving on to face, after I moisturize, I'm using the Cover FX Blurring Primer, which I also got from BoxyCharm. I'm sorry, this is not a BoxyCharm tutorial and they are not paying me, unfortunately. Then I am going into my incredibly full coverage new favorite foundation, the Marc Jacobs foundation that I'm sure you've all heard of, in the shade Warm Ivory. It's not an exact match to my skin tone, but it is the closest out of the shade range that they have, so I make it work. I'm also mixing a little bit of this mini Cover FX illuminating highlight drops into my foundation just to give me a little bit of glow because this is a very matte full coverage foundation. I do find that this foundation is not really a beauty blender foundation just because it is so thick. My Artiste brush that I have does work really nicely, but any densely packed brush will work. You could get one from the dollar store if you needed to. Moving on to yet another unnecessarily high-end product, I'm going to be using the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat, I want to say is how you pronounce it, in the shade Vanilla. You can use any kind of under-eye concealer, brightening concealer. Then I'm just using a high coverage concealer to just dot on some breakouts that I have because I am on Accutane. Then I'm going in with a cream contour stick. I want to say this is the Jordana contour stick. I look incredibly deathly pale and like my foundation color is super off. I promise it doesn't look that bad in real life, but the contour stick helps bring a little dimension and color back into my face. Then I'm doing a all over light brush with the setting powder. I use RCMA no color powder. I think it's awesome. I've been using it for like years now. Then I'm going in with a bit of a powder contour bronzer. I use them pretty interchangeably. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Then to add a little bit of flush to my cheeks, I'm using this Pretty Vulgar blush, which is one of my favorite everyday blushes because it's not too pink and it's not too brown. Because I want this look to be very glowing goddess type of look, I go in with this mini Bobbi Brown shimmer brick. And for highlighter, I'm using Becca Moonstone highlighter on the high points of my cheeks. I don't think there's any way to really go overboard with highlighter, but I put it on the peak of my cheeks, which you can find by kind of turning your head to the side and seeing where your cheeks stand out in your profile. And I also love to brush it above my eyebrows in a kind of C shape around my eye. Then I brush a bit of highlight down the bridge of my nose and a bit on my cupid's bow above my lip, and then I'm going in and curling my eyelashes to get ready for mascara. The mascara I'm using here is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I know, cult favorite, it's my tried and true. I can't move away from it even though it flakes under my eyes all the time. Moving on to lipstick, I'm using this Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick. I wish I knew the shade. I cannot find it for the life of me. I want to say it's something like Promiscuous, but I'm going to look it up and leave it in the description below if I can find it. Then, like I said before, I'm on Accutane and my lips are so dry they cannot handle a matte liquid lipstick right now. So I'm just putting this Dior plumping gloss on top just to kind of rehydrate my lips and bring them a little bit back to life. And that's the final look. I hope you guys like it and I can't wait to see if you try to create it. Made it to the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching that. Remember, you can always modify things in any way you want, and obviously none of the products I used are required for it. There's definitely dupes and substitutions you can use, as I know I do use a lot of very expensive high-end makeup products in here because I like to splurge far more than I should, but never feel obligated to have those specific products because it's so unnecessary. So I'll see you guys again soon. Have a lovely week and a lovely day. Love you. Please subscribe if you like this video and you want to check out the tons more that are coming your way. If you could like and comment to give it a little bit of a boost so more new people could find me, I'd super appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who stuck around with me through this long time away. All right, bye.